Hey everybody, it's Paul and welcome to the Wood Life. So here is the barn. This is the barn that I am going to start building very soon. So today is October the 19th. The holes have been dug for the footers. The concrete is coming in on Wednesday and the lumber should arrive 2 weeks from now. So that's where we're at. I want to, since this is kind of an introduction, let me walk you through what I went through in regard to this barn, why I decided to go this route, all of that stuff. So, first, I've dreamed about living on a piece of property with an old barn like this for decades, probably my entire life. I've just always loved old barns. So, I had dreams of building a timber frame. The problem is I'm employed. This property that I'm building on is 100 miles away from my actual residence, so it's quite a ways. Hour and a half takes to get there. And I simply don't have the time, nor in reality the skill level it takes to, or probably the patience even, that it takes to build a timber frame, but I wanted the same look. And so through my research, I found a company called Connecticut Post and Beam that is owned by a guy named Pete that I'll show you his website here in just a couple of seconds. And he does what is called the T-Rex system. So let me see if I can shrink this down real quickly. So he has designed this T-Rex system, and so what you get are these T-plates. They're made out of aluminum. They're anodized black, and you attach these to the beams, and that takes the place of cutting the mortises and tenons. When I found this, I knew immediately that, one, I could do this, and two, this was the right way for me to go. It's going to give me the look that I want without possibly the heartache and the frustration of a rookie trying to do a mortise and tenon structure and never get it done, and then just have a bunch of firewood laying on my property. So that's essentially the way it works, right? So here are obviously some angle rafter things, some T-plates here, and so that's it. So I went ahead and I purchased this plan. One other thing before we get into this too much, I've watched a ton of these videos over the years of people building barns, people building timber frame homes, people building post and beam, and very few times do they talk about costs. So I want to make sure that that is a part of this channel, of what does it cost to do this. So right off the bat, let's talk about the costs of building this barn. So in my area, if this barn is considered agriculture, which it is, I don't have to deal with a lot of things, one of them being inspection. Now, that doesn't mean that I am not building it up to code, because I am. However, I just don't have to deal with inspections and inspectors and that sort of thing. So the concrete, I'm going to do piers. So the piers are 48 inches deep by 24 inches wide, and those have already been dug, as opposed to just doing like a 48-inch deep or 42-inch. Our frost line's 42 inches. All the way across, all the way around. So putting in the piers, and then what we're going to do is add in the concrete later. For that, if I did the standard footings like you would find in a home, my costs were going to be about $11,000. The way I'm doing it, my costs are right at about $6,000. Then the frame itself, which I have to cut, it's just the lumber, I purchased out of Tennessee, including the delivery to me, is a little over $10,000, and $1,700 of that is delivery. of, bringing a big rig to where I live at and dropping it off. From there, I'm going to have to rent something to actually pull the timbers off of the truck, because they said that the packages can weigh up to 5,000 pounds, as they're strapped together. So that's that. And then that does not include things like the doors, the windows, the flooring, the roof, none of that. So that is the plan. The connectors, the T-Rex connectors, with all of the tools so he makes specific proprietary tools, the Pro Slaughter here, all of this sort of thing. So everything that I'm buying from him is an additional $6,000. So that's all the connectors, the tools, that sort of thing. Then I need a $500 steel electric chainsaw. Yeah, I have a standard Husqvarna chainsaw, but to sit there and crank that thing over every time I needed to make a chainsaw cut is going to be a pain in the butt. So just going to buy an electric chainsaw. I have a generator on the property, so that's where we're at. So let me walk you through these plans real quick. They're very detailed. You get 32 pages of plans. When I actually have talked with Pete, this gentleman right here. He's 78 years old. He's a really good guy. So if this is something that you are interested in doing, he's been terribly helpful, and has never made me feel awkward about calling him. He's always happy to hear from you. So it's kind of cool. So back to the plan. I initially picked out a different plan, and Pete said, "Nah, don't do that plan." He said, "If you have the property, do this plan." He said, "It's going to be easier for you to cut. You're going to get a much larger barn." The barn I was looking at was 28 by 28. This turns out to be 24 by 36. So this will give me the ability to I have a boat, to put my boat in one side, plus a lot of area on the second floor for, storage and what have you. So that's where we're at. Again, these plans are very, very detailed, and I'm just going to scroll all the way through. That's what it looks like. And then right here, you get cut lists of all of the beams. So for example, I'll take this one. This is an 8 by 12, and I need 6 pieces with these identical cuts. And if I go to, let's say, the rafter here, same thing. So these are 4 by 8s. I need 20 of them. And here are all of the cuts. 2 pieces of 8 by 12. So most of the barn, everything that I'm pulling up, it seems to be 8 by 12, but most of the barn is 6 by 8 and 8 by 8. Here are the posts. These are 8 by 8s. 4 pieces, 13 feet 10, 15 sixteenths. Shows you where to notch them, everything. So very easy to follow instructions. What Pete told me is, don't assemble this like it is a timber frame, because it's not a timber frame, it's a post and beam. So make all your cuts and then, start putting in the posts one at a time. And he said a crew that knows what they're doing will generally cut one of these barns in 3 days. And a crew that knows what they're doing will typically assemble one of these barns, just the frame, not the siding, not the roof, just the frame, in 3 days. Is really where they're at, obviously barring weather conditions and that sort of thing. When asked, how long it might take me, he said, 7 to 10 days. I'm planning on months. I'm going to go as fast as I can. And the nice thing about my life is that I'm fairly flexible. So I work from home, so I can choose to, if I want to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and put in a full day's work by noon, and then take off at 12:30, I can do that and work. So I have that flexibility, which a lot of people don't have, so I'm blessed to have that. But that is the plan. This building process is going to start relatively quickly. It's going to be a long, cold winter. And again, I do not have any real woodworking experience. I did, however, as kind of a practice, I built a pavilion over the summer on the property, and that went well. I'm happy with how it turned out. So that gave me the confidence to build this. The pavilion is 12 by 16. That gave me the confidence to go ahead and say, I think that I can do this. And I'm just going to take my time, read the instructions over and over. You know what they say, measure twice, cut once. I'm probably going to measure 5 times, because in my area, we have readily available southern yellow pine. We do not have readily available, or that I could find anyway, eastern white pine. So again, I ordered this stuff from Tennessee, and I did order a little bit over just in case I screwed up a piece of wood here or there. However, this is not something that I can afford to screw up the cuts on. So I have to be careful. I have to go slow. So it's going to take me a while. But hopefully the end result is a barn that I am happy with. Let me go ahead and show you some pictures of what we've got going on here and how the end of it will look. So here is a finished version of the same barn. I don't love the green, but that's beside the point. But that is what it will end up looking like. So a couple of changes that I would like to make. I love these transom windows. I think that they're great. I love the lights. Again, I'm not in love with the green. I would like these windows up here to be a bit larger. And the one change that we did make up here on the second floor is that we are going to do a dormer, not off the front of the barn, but off of the back of the barn, to give a little bit more space up there, because obviously the pitch of the roof is a 10-12 pitch. So to kind of bump that out a little bit, so it gives a little bit more space. But I do like this look on the front, so we're going to put that dormer on the back. And then here's a picture of me. I built this all by myself. I did have my sons and a friend of mine help me put these posts in the ground initially. However, after that, I built every inch of that pavilion myself. And like I said, I'm happy with the way that it turned out. This is a little gantry crane that I made to lift up this beam. This beam here is a 20-foot long 6x6. I don't know exactly how much it weighs, but I would imagine that it weighs probably 250 pounds. It was not something that I was going to be able to walk up there. Not only that, so this is a 12-12 pitch. From here to here, it's right about 5.5, 6 feet. So I could not do that. So I built this gantry, which I was really happy with, because I had seen videos of these and how they work, and it worked fantastic. So this line here is strapped to a tree, and then there's another line right here that is strapped right here to this tree. So this end is pulling this way, this end is pulling this way, and then as you can see right here, it's just a chain hoist like you would use to lift something in your garage. And it made it so easy. It just lifted right up, no problems. So I'm planning on doing a lot of this type of stuff, because I don't have a lot of heavy equipment. In fact, I don't have any heavy equipment. I do have a old tractor. But I'm going to have to do a lot of it this way on my own, with these types of gantry cranes and that sort of thing. So that's where we're at. Thanks for watching. If you like what I've said and you want to follow along, feel free to subscribe and hit that bell, and you'll get alerts when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you.